All right, so this job has lots of little pieces and variations on the little pieces. So I'm going to walk it through you the best as I can. So over here is Concord Avenue, and this is Woodland Road over here, just to give you kind of a idea of where we're standing. They just redid this road out front here, and here are our walls that we had installed. Okay, so they redid their driveway, and their driveway had the original driveway had sunk. So when they put the new driveway in to the correct height, it made the pavers too low. So the first part of this bid is going to be to raise up their pavers to the correct height. I'll take a picture of the pavers to see if we can find it. However, we might not have to, and I'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to go 15 feet from the driveway to 15 feet back this way to re-level this area. That looks to 15 feet back looks to be about where we can get it to be nice and level with the driveway coming into it. So it flares out to 10 feet at the driveway right here, and it's 4 feet across in this point right here. All right. So then we would attempt to reuse the stones that we have here, and I'll get to that in a moment. So over here you can see that it's all, I don't know if you can see, it's also lower over here along this area. This is an 8x7 pad that needs to get raised up. So this will be the second part of the bid, is to raise this area up. All right. So, you know how I said over there, if we can find it, great. If not, and we have to rob from someplace, he said, well, this right here, we can rob from, and because they very seldom use this area. So, if we have to take from someplace, we would take out this walkway from the fence to this point right here, which I believe is 19 feet, and we would put in steppers in place of this. So, using Chilton steppers, we would use these guys right here, over there, and then we'd create a soldier course coming across here right at the fence, and then we could rob from this area to use in the front area, and then just replace it with steppers. All right. So then that's an option. If we don't have to rob from there to get pavers from here, then he wants this re-leveled, because if you can't tell, this is separated. So we want to push or pull the stuff back together. The hill is just kind of moving. I told him he has sprinklers in here, and actually his fence is, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of pushing. The cement is actually cracked, which is kind of bizarre. So, but either way, the steppers, it's 19 feet by 4 feet. We'd have to take them up, obviously, to get it up to the correct height of this, and then lay it tight to itself to make its way back into the area over there. All right. He came out after I had done most of this stuff and said that he wants to get a bid to do it in bluestone. So we also need to give him a bid to replace all these pavers here with bluestone. It is an extra, so I originally said it's 15 feet this way, and 10 feet here, and 4 feet over here. It is 82 extra square feet from this point out to the front step. It flares to 6 feet over here, so it goes from 6 feet to 4 feet, and I just did the math. It looks to be probably an extra 15-ish feet to go, like if I were to measure the center, but I just did the math based on my measurements over there. So extra 82 square feet. If we redid this, we would also redo this 8x7 area in bluestone. And then from the corner of the house, we would put bluestone steppers here. So we would do two, and he needs, told you, he needs two, sorry, I'm picking up my stuff here. 2 different prices on his bluestone steppers. The first type is patterned bluestone steppers, and the second type is irregular bluestone steppers. Now, I told them we'd give them a deal on the patterned because I told them we would use leftover stone that we can't use in our patios as the steppers. So make sure that the patterned bluestone is a little less expensive than the irregular bluestone, mostly because we'll never use that patterned bluestone for anything but this. So it's at least a way of getting rid of it. Okay. So then from the from the gate here to the edge rock right here would be steppers, and this is 17, no, hang on a second here. Yep, 17 feet. It's 17 feet from the gate behind me to the edge rock right here, and this is where the steppers would end. And then this area in here would be solid bluestone. It'd be 85 square feet of patterned bluestone in this area right here. And we're doing patterned in this area because they kind of walk out here. It's just kind of an extension on it, and it made sense to go to to this edge rock that we have right here. And I'm going to take one more step back before I forget. If we put steppers in here, I would suggest that we also need to give a bid to go from right here down using edge rock, just to try and help stabilize the soil in here, because obviously it's separating here, and putting a little edge rock in hopefully would help to stabilize that. So yeah, putting that in that area. All right, the next part of this is this step. All right, we have got they had put in this step. It's a brick step, and the brick is falling apart. They have patterned bluestone on top of it, which is all popping free. We need to replace this thing. So it's a 34-inch landing on the top, and 2 1-foot treads. And I tell you this because it's going in the same footprint. We're actually going to use tread stock instead of the pattern stuff here. So it's 9 feet wide, and the treads look to be about 6-ish inches tall. So yeah, 9 feet wide, 6 inches tall, 12 inches deep, 34-inch deep landing. We will use Chilton, which is what they have in the front. We'll use Chilton and bluestone as their stone. Bluestone will be the treads, so just Chilton as their riser stone. It doesn't have to be terribly ashlar. The front wall, in fact, we probably don't even need to make it ashlar. Their front wall is rose, brick is rose. Yeah, it'll look just fine using road Chilton. All right, and then finally, we've got a few just maintenance pieces here. We've got a few pieces of this lower tread that's popped free. So PL-it and tuck pointed. I would guess that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces on here. Let's assume that half of them have popped free, and that we're going to have to tuck point most of these joints. So I would actually grind out these joints that are loose and re-tuck point them. And then the sitting wall over here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 joints that are 18-ish inches. Grind those out and put in a little bit and put in some fresh mortar. They're not bad. He just wants them. He wanted some preventative maintenance because they have a few cracks in them. So yeah, I told you, a lot of little things. So I'm just going to try and recap. So we've got the front walk over there. That's at the front of the house. The first bit is to re-level that using the pavers. We're going to try and reuse all the pavers that he has right there. If we can't reuse it, we'll have to rob from the sidewalk that's on the side here. If we rob from the sidewalk that's on the side here, then we'll have to take out all these pavers from point A to point B and put in steppers there. That's 19 feet. Either way, that 17 by 8 foot, the 7 by 8 landing that's at the top of those steps that come up from the road will need to be raised if it's steppers. The other option is to have basically the whole thing replaced with bluestone. Pattern bluestone for this little pad right here, the pad at the top of the steps around the corner here, and then the pattern bluestone going to the front steps. We need to put some edge rock between the fence there and the steps coming up from the street. And then we've got the step here, 3 risers, 9 feet wide, using tread stock and Chilton, and then some preventative maintenance along the side over here. All right, have fun watching this movie.